Definitely, yeah, 100%. I mean, it would be no fun if I played by myself in a practice room, so then I always hope that the community will be at all my concerts, yeah.
Well, could you describe what your concerts are? I mean, are they in a large hall, or are they, some church, or?
Well, I'm really lucky to be in a position to be able to do lots of different types of concerts. So I recently was on tour with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra. I was part of developing a children's show for the schools, and I was a presenter on stage. So we played the show to about 2,000 children across 5 different regional centres. And there was heaps of community members there. So there were the children and their parents, and other community members came along to see the show. So that was really exciting. That's one example. And then I also play to smaller groups because I do some new music works, and they often attract smaller audiences, but the people are very keen about the particular content of the works. So I love playing to large community audiences and smaller, more particular audiences as well.
Just, how you engage with all the children.
What we did when we designed the show, it was with 2 other presenters, was that we wanted to give the children the opportunity to really sit and listen to a full orchestra playing a beautiful piece of classical music. So it was Beethoven's 8th Symphony and a work by Mendelssohn and a brand new piece written by this Indigenous composer, Eric Avery. It was called Yanana. And so what we did is that we wanted to give the children the opportunity to sit and listen, and then to also respond and to lock in and hear some of the particular melodies, and then do some call and response with body percussion and singing as well. So there was lots of involvement and lots of chances to listen.
So do you know how to do body percussion?
Oh yeah,
Could you,
what part of my skill set?
Tell us a little bit of what that is?
Well, body percussion really encompasses anything that you can do with your body. So leg slaps or clicks or stomping or, cool sounds with your mouth. It's like a combination of whatever you want, really. Yeah.
So do the adults ever get involved in that kind of stuff too?
Yeah, definitely. We took this show on tour before we went to the school centres. We went to community centres, and lots of adults got on board as well, which was really fun. Yeah.
Okay. So if you were curating a show, what's the word? What's the musical word for curating a show?
Yeah, curating or programming.
Yeah, programming a show. What would be your choice if you could do anything and you were going to do a concert, stay down in the musical down here?
Wow. I've been really lucky to curate, I think, 6 or 7 recitals in the NAM Town Hall. And I've always tried to include a range of pieces because I think audiences love to be given the opportunity to experience lots of different things over the course of one recital. I'm a percussionist, so I usually curate pieces that have percussion in them. I love new Australian works, pieces that are pieces that have a depth to them, whether it's a meaning apart from the music, and then works that stand alone that just sound beautiful. And I love chamber music, so any opportunity to play with other musicians is a highlight for me.
Well, I know string instruments play string quartets, but and quintets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What would a percussionist? What would you call the group that the percussionist is in?
Well, we don't have anything as well established as a string quartet, but there are a lot of percussion quartets that are written. There's percussion quintets, percussion trios, duos, so there's lots of different combinations. And then we're often combined with other instruments. So there's a lot of 2 piano, 2 percussion works. Sometimes they are arrangements of larger orchestral pieces, like there's a version of West Side Story for 2 pianos and 2 percussions. There's a version of The Ride to Spring, which is incredibly fun to play, which we did 2 years ago at NAM. So it's exciting because percussion is a little less established than a lot of the other classical musical instruments. And so we get opportunities to play in lots of different forms of ensembles for that reason.
Do you come to South Melbourne at all for anything?
Yeah, I mean, I have lots of friends at NAM, and I love coming to watch their recitals. And any opportunity I can, I come to the concerts here because they're amazing, and it's lovely to sit in the audience and not have to stress about moving the gear on stage. But South Melbourne's a really beautiful place. I love coming here. I live quite nearby, so yeah.
Well, if you could think of something that you would do to engage the community, what would you think of, I know, the kind of normal way would be to come to a concert. Could you think of any other way that you would, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. There are heaps of opportunities. I love working with children, so I think that it's really important to connect with children in the world of classical music and get them on board early and young and get them passionate about music. So offering workshops for lots of different ages of kids. You can have something like similar to a junior jams that the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra do so beautifully, where you get children and you play classical music to them and they can tap along and play along. Or you could do workshops for high school students where they could sit side by side and perform with you as you play a work of some classical piece. Another option is to get adult amateur performers or adult musicians who don't necessarily do music full time. They could come and play side by side and be a part of workshops, because it's really exciting not only to get to watch music but to be a part of it as well. Sometimes I run composition workshops, so it's where community members get to come along and be part of creating a new work that they then sort of perform together at the end, which is a lot of fun.
How do you record that?
Well, it's often just a spontaneous kind of perform and then it's gone. It's the beautiful ephemeral nature of music, that it's just there for an instant. So yeah, often it's quite informal and not recorded. Yeah.
So as being a graduate of NM, can you tell us what it was about NM and being in South Melbourne that lingers in your life?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I moved to Melbourne to study at NM, so it's been the centre of my life here. This is the first thing I did in Melbourne is come to NM and study here, and so it's really shaped what I do here. Set me up with a network of friends and colleagues and connections in the arts and wider community, and it's really helped. It's really helped me build and develop my career as an emerging artist. So I owe a lot to NM. I'm very grateful.
Place and
sure.
How did it come about?
So I first found out about NM when I was in first or second year uni. I should say I'm originally from Perth in Western Australia. I did my undergraduate with honours there at the University of Western Australia. And then a lot of my friends came to NM and I've just heard stories of how incredible it was, and I used to go on the website, and that was before they accepted percussionists because it was quite a small school at that time. They didn't have brass or percussion. And then when they did take percussion, I was just over the moon and incredibly excited, and I got a new teacher in the last year of uni, and I phoned her up at the start of the year. I remember the conversation. I said, I really want to apply for NM. Can you help me? This is my main goal this year. So we worked on it together, and I was really lucky and moved across. There is no such thing as a typical day in a freelance musician's life, because, and it's something that I feel really privileged to be able to do, to be a freelance musician, because I just get to do such a huge variety of things. From, I'm the director of the Ad-Lib Collective, which is a modular ensemble of composers and musicians, and we create brand new works. We're developing a new work for the Metropolis Festival next year at the Melbourne Recital Centre, all about climate change. And then, so I'll do that maybe in the morning, work on the piece, and then I'll go and teach in the afternoon. I do some private percussion teaching, and then maybe in the evening I'll have a rehearsal with my new duo, the Agnato duo, and we'll work on a new commission that's just been written for us. And perhaps the next day, I don't know, maybe I'll work on my drum kit playing, or I'll get some practice in. And so every day is different, teaching, performance, creating, and then a lot of engagement. I'm really passionate about community work, so I do develop children's shows and I tour regularly. So I'm often not at home, I'm often somewhere else. It's essential. Not only do we go through mallets really quickly, so I need to buy new sticks and mallets. There's always a new instrument you need for a new piece. Or, for example, I play a piece for tuned flower pots, and I have to go to Bunnings with a tuner and play the flower pots so that I can get the right pitch. And then they're really easy to break. If you just hit it too hard, it cracks and it doesn't work, so you have to go back. So I live at Bunnings, and I spend my life saving up for big percussion instruments. So yeah, but it's worth it because I think it's the best job in the world.
Well, what was your last most fun percussion instrument that you acquired?
Oh, well, I've just bought a vibraphone and it's beautiful. It's brand new, came from the US, so it's jet black. And and I'm very proud of my new baby. Is that right?